big enchilada has been. The suspension, the front suspension specifically, the air struts, the lower control arms, the upper control arms, the tie rods, the sway bar end links, the rotors and the brakes, and every single thing that has to do with the car basically needs to be addressed. So I've been working tirelessly on the front suspension, and I got it to a point where I'm really happy. Let's get to it. So last week I struggled with a knuckle, and this week I'm gonna not struggle with a knuckle. Let's go. I ordered my new steering knuckle like on a Tuesday. 2 days later, this thing shows up at my door. And I don't know if you saw, but my FedEx guy was carrying it on like his shoulder. That guy is, I don't know how he does it. This thing was not light, let's face it. So the first order of business is to compare it to the one that I just removed from my car and make sure that it is indeed the same one and in good condition. So in this knuckle, there are two holes. A hole for the forward control arm to pop into, and a hole for the rearward control arm to pop into. In these holes are spacers, or bushings. I've seen people call them spacers. Apparently they come pressed in, and even the Audi versions, you can't find these anywhere. I know because I searched high and low to make a long story short. So I'm looking, and the forward spacer is in there. No problem, that's what I needed. What I didn't notice is that the rearward spacer is not in there. Not a big deal because I can remove the one from my old knuckle and put it in the new knuckle. But alas, taking it out was not easy. I kind of threw in the towel. Literally, I threw in the towel. So I took the whole part to O'Reilly because I was going to rent a bushing pusher outer tool. I can't even speak right now, I'm so out of breath. Anyways, I talked to one of my friends in there, and he's like, hit it with a hammer. I'm like, I tried, but I can't hold it and hit it at the same time. Anyways, he's like, take it outside, I'll hit it for you. And he knocked it right out. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy right now. Oh. The new knuckle was missing a bushing. It had the bushing that came out on my knuckle, but it was missing the bushing that didn't come out on my knuckle. Isn't that crazy? Lucky, I got very lucky today. I was prepared to rent a tool to remove it because I tried hitting it with a hammer and it didn't come out like the first couple tries, and I thought, you know, and knowing this, it's not going to, I'm going to just break it and then I'm going to have to buy a new bushing. So I took it to O'Reilly to rent like a press to get it out, and I showed one of my friends there, and he was like, don't worry about it, girl, I'm gonna take it outside. And he grabbed a hammer and we took it outside. I held it and he gave it a couple taps and I came right out. He became my hero for that moment in time. It was like he became a father figure, a brother, an uncle, and a lover, all combined into one great man. I was so thankful, all joking aside, like, wow, he saved me. Oh my gosh. Someone get that man a raise. So anyways, here it is. And we can put it in the new one now. original intention was to swap out the, what do they call it, the axle bearing? Mine with the old one, or I guess my old one with the new one. But the 4 bolts on the back, whew, those weren't budging. Those weren't budging at all. So, plan B, I just decided to clean up the one that I got on eBay and make it pretty, at least. And I am saving the old one. I'm not getting rid of this. No sirree Bob. I might need it. I did notice there's a bracket on the back where the brake line sits, and it is missing from mine. Also, keep in mind, the one that I pulled off the car is not an original Bentley part. Nope, it had the Audi number on it. Many suspicious things. Why wouldn't it have the original part? Mies thinks that this was replaced before. Maybe during a battle damage. I don't know. I don't care if that wheel gets the rug, the towel. It's gonna scoop it up. And I could care less. I'm one of those people that's gonna scoop up my own sweatshirt at this point. And I'm gonna keep going. Look how close it is to that hair. It's gonna scoop up my hair. Terrifying thought. It really wasn't that close in person, I'll have you know. For all those who are gonna leave me hate comments. People be hating on my Taco Bell too. Taco Bell's good. Not good for you, but it's good. I'm just gonna start assembling everything back together. I'm not gonna torque anything down yet because the car has to be in the riding level position. And I have to write the torque. It takes me a while to torque stuff down because I get the information from a book or from the internet and I write it all down, and I really am careful with it. So I have everything on my phone. It's just a pain in the butt to like torque it. My brain just works in very weird ways. This Bentley manual is something like 15,000 pages. It's no joke. So finding the torque specs isn't a simple task, and I definitely don't Google that stuff. It's too broad. Everything's in Newton meters, so I dig through the manual, I find my Newton meters, and I write them down. I actually put them in an email and send it to myself. I do that kind of stuff. This is what OCD looks like. I'm a very type A personality, and this is how I function. Notes. So the forward lower control arm is an 18mm on both sides. The nut goes here, the bolt goes on the inside. There's some hoses in the way, and this thing is amazing because it can kind of scoop in there, hold the bolt head down while I crank the other side or vice versa. I highly recommend this. And guess where I got it from? Harbor Freight, where I get all the good stuff. Time to put this in there. The constant velocity axle was going in. I would like to take this time to give you some really helpful advice. When you are adding this, you don't want to overextend it by accident, say manhandling or any other way, because when those bearings pop out of that bucket, it sometimes will not wiggle back in, meaning you have to take the boot off and massage those bearings, that tripod, back into the bucket. Not that it's ever happened to me. I'm just speaking because it happened to a friend of mine. Yes, that's what it was. It was a friend of mine that did it. Yes, he manhandled it and he overextended it. That's how I learned that lesson, not from experience. Nope, wasn't me. Nope, not me. So when I was unboxing my CV axles, I'm one of those people that, like, when I get food from a drive-thru, I'll look at it really closely, and I'm always that person that finds like a hair in it or something. So anyways, I get these CV boots, CV axles out of the package, and I'm looking at them, you know, just inspecting them as you should, and I see the metal clamp that's holding the boot to the bucker, like the bucket, the inner area, the inner joint, the inner freaking boot. The clamp that's holding it up, the clamp goes like around twice and then through a slot and then through another slot and then back around. I noticed that it was cracked on one side, like where it had folded. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm just gonna let it go. And I thought I'm gonna go through all this trouble, get the CV axle in there for the clamp to break someday and the boot to come loose and then have to do all this over again. Because like the clamp's only maybe this wide and it was a good 3/4 of it had cracked where it was folded. I should have saved it to show you, but I didn't. I threw it out on a rage. So I removed the clamp, and in the process of, I wanted to just see if like if the boot had any damage too, because then I started getting like suspicious and paranoid. So in the process of inspecting it, I manhandled it and I separated the tripod from the bucket. Okay, it's not really a big deal, but in the process of getting it back in, like the bearings back into the bucket, I lost a little grease. So I added some new grease to that, and then I put a brand new metal clamp on it. I didn't have the proper tool for the metal clamp. I do now. I don't know what I did with it. So I used needle nose pliers and some things. And then I bought the proper tool and I bought a new clamp and I did it right. Whoa, it's gonna be a good day. Yesterday I got everything that I need, all the parts that I need. So all I'm gonna do today is just torque things down ever so gently. A lot of this stuff's gonna just be not torqued down but tightened, because it has to be torqued down in, you know, normal riding height position. But some stuff can be torqued down today. The first thing we're going to do is appropriately torque down the top mounting bolts and these control arms. Now, this is kind of where the whole suspension nightmare began, because when I replaced the Air Struts, that's when I noticed that my CV axle boots were completely busted open. That's when I noticed that my control arms were wiggle jiggle, like the bushings were completely bleh. And so that was like the discovery of all the suspension work that I was going to have to do. So with everything back out on the car, I started with the driver's side. I have replaced the upper forward and rearward control arms that mount to this Air Strut mounting bracket. So these are brand new, and it's time to torque these down because I'm about to mount this back up into the car. And then there's a distance here to here that we want to measure. So you want to measure the distance between the bracket and the top of the control arm. The forward is a different distance from the rearward control arm. These photos, these illustrations, they just speak for themselves. And of course it's in millimeters. Back when I was working on my Camaro, this thing lied to me. I might have had it set wrong, I don't know, but either way I broke a head off of a bolt, and I've never forgiven this thing. Time to torque down these guys. So these guys down here, in here that I've been waiting for, there are 6 of these bolts in here and they have to be torqued down to 30 Newton meters. 13 Newton meters. Ew, the Newton meter. Using my knee and this Harbor Freight flashlight instead of that little mini blue jack on the side, because that jack has wheels on it and it's just really annoying because it slips and slides out of the way, and I bonked myself with this knuckle because it slipped out of the way and it made me so mad that I just don't want to use it anymore. But this Harbor Freight flashlight does the trick. Whew. Take a break. I'm gonna go to the mall and buy some Bath and Body Works. So that does it for this week. Next week I will be finishing up the driver's side and starting on the passenger side. Thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Oh, and you're probably wondering, did I go to Bath and Body Works? I'll show you what I got. So yes, I did get Bath and Body Works. I did. I treated myself. They had a sale. I don't remember what it was, but it was worth it. So I got all kinds of stuff. But anyways, besides the point, check out these new cars. I just started collecting them. I got these shelves at Target, and then I collect these cars. These are called Play Forever. They're from the UK. Look at this. Isn't this cool? They're actually like really sturdy. They have this one, which is, you know, obviously kind of like a Lamborghini. And then they've got, hold on. So they're so cool, and I want to collect them all, but they're also like $50 each. So it's kind of a expensive hobby when you want to buy real cars.